so I'm gonna show you guys how I just stay in my current weight. I mean, I'm not really too big on macros or whatever. I'm not really a bodybuilder. As long as I maintain my body weight and I stay strong, that's all that really matters. So I kind of do my diet based off of calories that way. As you can see here, it's just you can just go on Google and type in weight loss calculator and find one and then just add it. And this one's on, I don't know, FitWatch, whatever. So I already added all my stuff. Let's say I weigh 147, 5'2", I'm 23, and I would say I'm a little bit more than moderately active, but for just to be on the safer side, let's say I'm moderately active. I only train about 3 times a week, even though I train like 5+ days a week. For this one, it's very simple. You can just enter any amount you want to lose, and then most of the times I would say you want to be at a 500 calorie less diet, because let's say if I need, what does it say, 2,500 calories to stay the same, right? If I wanted to lose 1 pound of fat per week, I would have to drop 500 calories per day. 500 times 7 is 3,500. And if you guys don't know, 3,500 calories equals to about 1 solid pound of fat, which is why 500 calories is kind of like ideal. So if you look at this calculator, it says for me to stay the same, I would be at 2,500, or if I want to kind of lose a little bit of weight, it'll be at 2,000 calories, right? Now, of course, there's like a plus and minus to these calculators, because they don't really take into effect like your genetics and your all that fun stuff. So what I like to do is I like to subtract this by about 200. So let's say in order to stay the same, I need about 2,300, and in order to lose weight, I need about 1,800 calories. So I haven't eaten anything yet, so I'm gonna make my first meal. If I need 1,800 calories to kind of lose weight, or let's say to kind of just be on the safer side to maintain weight, 1,800 is to lose weight, and then 23 is to kind of stay the same. So I'll usually, at the moment, since I'm very close to 145, I'll just bank on a regular 2,000 calorie diet. Still kind of want to stay on the 1,800 side, but you just count your calories. Let's say today I'm going to aim for 1,800, and if I weigh myself tomorrow and I'm a little bit less than 147, that means I need to eat more. If I eat, let's say 2,000, and I maintain the same weight that I did this morning, then that means every single day I need to hit 2,000 in order to maintain 147. So it's very simple. Based off of the way I've been eating, I just eat 2 meals a day, and if I just got to stay around 1,800 to about 2,000 calories to maintain my body weight, or to lose like a little bit of weight here and there, then I'll just eat 2 meals. 1 meal in the morning will be around 600 to about 800 calories, and then the meal at night would be 1,000 to 1,200 calories, because I can't eat that much food in the morning. I eat more food at night. So that way it just kind of keeps me accounted for. Just 2 meals, 600 to 800 calories in the morning, 1,000 to about 1,200 calories at night, and that's it. If you wanted a snack in between, just make sure however much calories is in that snack, you calculate that with your meals. So imagine if I want to eat, let's say, a candy bar that's 400 calories, that means during my dinner I have to eat 400 calories less. Make sense? Alright, so I'm going to show you guys kind of just like what I like to eat, so you guys can kind of see how, I guess, a little bit more free my diet is. As long as I maintain strength and I stay the same weight, it doesn't really matter what I eat. And I'll show you guys one of my favorite foods. I like to eat fried rice, and I'll just calculate it all for you, so you can kind of see what I do. And then again, later at night, if I was to eat something based off of the first meal, it would just be less calories or more calories on however much I have left for the day. And it's time to get kind of start off. I have 3 cloves of garlic and 2 Thai chili peppers. I'm gonna mash that up, into like a little seasoning or whatever. This is my meat. So if you look, it says 130 calories for every 4 ounces or 112 grams. So I like to eat about 2 cups of rice. So whatever the type of white rice that we have, for every cup of rice is about 185 calories. So I'll just, let's say, eat two cups of rice that I'm gonna cook into the pan. So that's every cup of rice. Like I like to measure it a little bit more like this because it's a little bit more accurate. You know, because if you use one of these measuring cups, right, it's not as accurate because you can kind of stuff in more than you can, you know, more in here, and it'll be maybe more than a 4th cup, versus if you measure it, it's always going to be accurate. So I'm going to put about 270 grams of white rice into like a little area, and that should be about, you know, let's say 360 or 370 calories. So that's 370 just the rice. So if I wanted to make about an 800 calorie dish, that's 380, and then I'll do about another 300 calories of meat. So if that's 130 and I want about 300, I'll have about 2.5 servings. So about 112 times 2.5, which will end up being about 57 plus 224. So let's say about 270 grams. So I'm gonna get about 270 of this chicken thigh, boneless chicken thigh, whatever meat you want to make for this dish. Just make sure you have your meat of choice, which is going to be the chicken thighs here. So it's going to be, again, 270 grams there for about 300 calories of meat, 380 calories for the 2 cups of rice, and then what I'm going to add is this little mix here, which has practically no calories at all. So overall, I think this meal right here is about, or just the rice and the meat is about 700 calories. And then I'm gonna add about 50 calories of sugar, or you know, you can add less, whatever you want. I'm gonna add a little bit of fish sauce and a little bit of oyster sauce, which will end up to about 100 calories of seasoning and oyster sauce or whatever, and it'll be about 800 to about 850. And I'll show you guys how that works when I end up chopping my meat and setting up my rice and all my ingredients. Alright, so I got my 2 cups of rice all measured out. I got my chicken. I pretty much just chopped it up into like small little pieces. You know, you could chop it up as big or as small as you want, whatever. And then I have my sugar, the garlic and the Thai chili pepper mixed up. I have my fish sauce here ready and the oyster sauce ready. Again, if you use just, you know, the right amount, this should be about, you know, 45 calories. This is like every teaspoon is like 5 calories or something like that. It just has a lot of salt, a lot of sodium. So if you're, you know, conscious about your salt intakes, just be careful on the amount you use. Same thing with the oyster sauce, but overall I'm probably going to use like maybe 2 tablespoons of the oyster sauce, 1 tablespoon of the fish sauce, and that's it. So that should be about 100 calories right there. So this ended up being, so chopped up some peppers, some bell peppers, and some cilantro. You know, when it comes to vegetables, vegetables are made out of water most of the time anyway, so you know, I don't really calculate vegetables into my calorie intake. Alright, so the pan's getting a little hotter. You can tell because the oil's kind of moving a little bit faster. See that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my garlic and Thai chili pepper, kind of, you know, the kind of crushed up. And a tip, you know, when you guys cook, you always want to use a metal spatula or like a wooden one. Never use a plastic one because, you know, when the pan gets kind of hot, the plastic kind of tends to melt a little bit, and you don't want to eat plastic. So once it's in, I like to just kind of move it around a little bit. You're gonna start smelling that garlic and the pepper kind of mix. I mean, it already kind of smells like, you know, Asian style fried rice. Well, this is my style. I don't really know how other people make their fried rice, but this is how I like mine. So you kind of hear it crisping a little bit. You know what I mean? Once it gets a little bit more golden brown, I'll add the meat and just let it kind of simmer for a little bit. So once this kind of golden browns a little bit and I add the meat, so if you notice it's at a medium temperature, I'm going to probably bump it up to the numbers right between the 7 and the 8. You know, I never really cook food on high unless you're in a hurry. So just, you know, take your time when you cook the food. And again, this is what works for me. You can give it a try, you know, keep your calorie, just worry about your calorie intake, you know, but if you're, you know, aspiring to be a bodybuilder or a fitness competitor one day, you might want to take a look into what you should be eating a little bit more. But for me, I don't care. I could be fat, as long as I'm in the 145 weight class, I don't really care. Alright, so now that it's kind of crispying up, add the heat. Add the meat. Then kind of mix it around a little bit. Let the onions or the garlic and the pepper kind of soak into the meat a little bit. And then pretty much when it's almost done, so the meat's kind of looking a little bit more ready. I would say kind of like halfway done. First thing I like to do is add oyster sauce. I mean, I don't really, it's kind of hard to do this when you only got one hand, so I'm just kind of measure it out. I kind of know what 2 teaspoons look like, so about that much. And then 1 teaspoon of fish sauce, probably just a couple of sprays. 1, 2, and about 2. That should be about 1 teaspoon. And then add your sugar. So once it kind of gets a little bit ready, or a little bit more ready, add your, you know, 2 teaspoons of oyster sauce, or a tablespoon of oyster sauce, 1 of the fish sauce, and then add your sugar already prepared. And I'm pretty much just going to cook this until it's almost ready. Once it's almost ready, I'll add the rice. So come back and add the rice. Alright, so it's pretty much ready. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop these bell peppers in there. And drop my rice. So again, that's 2 cups of rice. And stir. Alright, so right when all the rice broke down and all the rice kind of turned brown a little bit, and it started kind of frying just a little bit, I added the cilantro just to top it off just a little bit, and pretty much it's done. It's good to serve. I'm going to put it back on my little rice bowl, and this is a 800 calorie meal. So, I mean, it's a lot of food if you think about it, but it ends up only being about 800 calories. So, I'm going to enjoy this meal, and I'm going to maintain weight and strength. So, that's pretty much my diet, guys, or what I like to eat. This is, I guess you could say, James Vang style fried rice. You know, it tastes just like, you know, the fried rice you find in a Thai restaurant, so if you can dig that. 800 calories, 2 cold